Good morning. We are back at Michelle Wu's house today. It's been a long 15 months since she's heard from us. So we decided to come say hello before court this morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Should have put these out.
Well, they're going to blow away. I can take one.
Would you like to take this one? Can I
Sure.
put it on screen?
I'm on screen. Should I turn around?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll have to do it this way, I guess.
That's okay. Thank you. If somebody can take any of these on the ground.
Do you want to begin the story? Can you see yourself?
Good morning. Stop. Morning. Can you grab that one off the ground? Good morning. We are back. This is the original place where it all happened. We're here because there is an illegal ordinance that has been in place. Unconstitutional ordinance has been in place. And several of us have been arrested for protesting out here. This is a public street in the city of Boston. It happens to be the street where the mayor of Boston resides. So for the look of it to look like it was legal or valid, lawful, it was passed to sound like it was a policy or an ordinance for the entire city, when in fact, an email went out to the Boston police in this district only that says, Catherine, what's it say? The subject is?
The subject of the email is Mayor's House Protest.
Mayor's House Protest.
It also says...
New policy regarding Mayor's House.
Oh, new policy regarding Mayor's House. I thought it was an ordinance for the city of Boston. So we're here today because we were arrested 15 months ago. 4 of us were arrested. Only 2 of us have criminal charges against us 15 months later. And the reason why only 2 of us do is because Mayor Wu keeps a political hit list, an enemy list. So that's also illegal. So we're targeted. We're being targeted. We've been targeted. And we're now on a Department of Homeland Security watch list. There's information being shared with the FBI. Our lives are being impacted detrimentally, our families. And we have illegal surveillance happening to us for exercising a First Amendment right. So it's been 15 months since we were arrested. And what you also need to note from this email that we had blown up that was received, this is from
Darren Greeley.
From Darren Greeley. I thought this one was from, oh yes, down here. Captain Darren Greeley at the time. He has since
retired.
Seems like anyone that has had to...
Anybody that's dealt with us.
Anyone who's dealt with us has either retired or been promoted. It's amazing. What a lucky jackpot for them. So in this email that went out there's a list of Boston police, I imagine sergeants and whatnot on this. New policy regarding Mayor's House. It says here, disregard the civil citation, right? Because an ordinance is a civil matter. So anyone who violates an ordinance would get a civil citation, a fine. It's civil, it is not criminal, correct? Well, disregard the civil citation, the email says. The court wants criminal complaint hearing. So what you see here is that the Boston police have been conspiring with the local court, with the West Roxbury District Court. So many rights have been violated. Our First Amendment rights, up and down the First Amendment, as well as our right to a speedy trial. And we're guaranteed the right to come before an impartial court. The court is conspiring with the police to have us arrested. It's 15 months later, and we have a stay-away order. Catherine and I have a stay-away order from Wooville. No part of this makes sense. So they've been tying us up for 15 months.
And they've used this case basically as a restraining order.
This case as a restraining order, right? Without any review or analysis or anything. And the process is the punishment. And we're 15 months in with no end in sight. We're not going to trial today. We're not going to trial next month. So this has been an undue hardship to us, to our families. I just want to show you real quick.
Why is it freezing? It's upside down.
I have a lot going on. Thank you. Thank you. So this is actually a copy of the ordinance here. So a lot of people have felt that the ordinance was justified. They've said things like, well, I don't want noise in my neighborhood. I don't want people protesting outside my neighborhood. Well, honey, it doesn't apply to your neighborhood. Unless you live on this immediate block. It does not apply to you. But if you want to zoom in, Catherine, to the yellow block.
I can't see.
The yellow box, sorry. Up top. It says here, for the purpose of this section, targeted residential picketing means picketing, protesting, or demonstrating with or without signs that is specifically directed towards one or more occupants of a particular residence, and which takes place before or about the particular targeted residence. The ordinance has nothing to do with noise, okay? She doesn't want to have to see the peasants. She does not want to come out and look at us, okay? She doesn't want a sign that says, you know, Mayor Wu keeps political hit lists, right? Sorry. First Amendment sign here. The violations to our First Amendment rights that have been taking place. We have the right to assemble. We have the right to petition our government, among other rights that are being violated. So back to the ordinance. Right here. Any violation of this section shall be punishable by a fine. No one has been issued a fine. Why? Because disregard the civil citation. The court wants criminal complaint hearing. So we actually have, and we could have printed it out, but this stuff costs money, guys, and I'm running out of arms to hold them. There's an email between the police department trying to structure and coordinate to figure out how to go about arresting us for a civil matter. Okay, thank you. Very much appreciate it. Okay, back to the ordinance. So this is to be, all fines issued under this section shall be enforced pursuant to the non-criminal disposition. There it is again. So any information obtained from enforcement of this ordinance shall not be included in any database maintained by the Boston Regional Intelligence Center,
AKA
Department of Homeland Security,
the BRIC,
where we are now being monitored by the BRIC because Mayor Wu keeps political hit lists. So it looks like the officer is going to make his way over here to us.
Well, it could be shift change. There's only one.
Okay. So I think he's going to tell us that there's an ordinance. Do you have your copy of
I
Constitution
think we
ready?
should show him that email that says it's not a town ordinance, it's about Mayor Wu's house.
Here we go.
Thank
Yep,
you.
and it's the favorite one too.
Hi there. Names and badge numbers, please.
Sergeant Fitzpatrick, how you doing?
Hi, Sergeant Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Badge number.
646.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Hi.
You guys.
Hey guys, is that
Frank
camera on?
Yes.
Is that camera on?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Sorry, Garcia, what's your number?
What's up today, folks?
4518.
We don't answer questions.
But thank you for checking in.
Oh, she sends out her mother, her usual.
Thank you for checking in.
What took you so long?
Okay. So,
Oh, so we're here.
Had to get the brief first.
do you want to continue?
Yes.
I'll be back out. This is an issue being tracked by
Should I pick back up?
Boston police and tracked by political people.
Okay,
for
so-
free speech. This is about them.
Again, it says that.
Disregard.
Oh, am I
Who's
on
that
the
email
same
from,
thing?
by the way?
It says, any information obtained from enforcement of this ordinance shall not be included in any database maintained by the Boston Regional Intelligence Center. That's the Department of Homeland Security, for those that don't know. And yes, we are being tracked and monitored, surveilled, our families. We're mothers with children, and we're being surveilled by the Department of Homeland Security, and yes, the FBI as well. So we have had records requests that come back with the dirty deeds of the Boston Police Department. And we have emails showing the police conspiring amongst themselves to figure out how to arrest people for civil ordinances. And then we also have this one here that says, disregard the civil citation. The court wants criminal complaint hearing. So also the police, the BPD, conspiring with the courts.
Tyrants.
Exactly. So the Constitution has been fully suspended in Boston, Massachusetts, because you don't have a First Amendment, you don't have a right to a speedy trial, you don't have a right to an impartial court when the court is conspiring to have you hauled in to, break policy. I mean, if they were doing what they were supposed to do, the police would have issued us a $50 fine.
And nobody has received a fine.
Nobody has ever received a fine. One was dismissed. One was given per request and dismissed, right? So here we have an unconstitutional ordinance that passed. So we want to challenge this unjust, unlawful, unconstitutional ordinance. And they've had us tied up in court proceedings for 15 months. This is an undue hardship for our families, for our small children. We are mothers, we should be home. Instead, they've hauled us to court over and over and over again for 15 months. By the way, last September of 2022, a judge within the West Roxbury Court ruled that I never should have been arrested in April when I came here and I was arrested. I was on scene and I was told that I had 5 minutes to leave or I'd be arrested. I didn't even get to protest. So when they started putting me in handcuffs, I banged the pot lightly like twice because I figured if I'm going to take it down, I might as well do something. So this is unconstitutional, and it is not what people think. It is not to save the poor neighbors. It's not about the poor neighbors. And it's not an actual ordinance that affects anyone else in the city of Boston besides this person here. Because as the email shows right here, it is the new policy regarding the mayor's house. I'd like you to also see if protesters fail to give identification, we will identify through previous encounters. Also unlawful, by the way. When we are exercising our First Amendment rights, those are protected. That's to keep the government from infringing on our rights. There is no reason to be collecting information, names, faces, pictures. They did all of that.
Got another unit coming up.
There's
And they're
more
doing it
police.
right now again with
There's
their
more
body cams.
police pulling up now. Right.
I would definitely show, and I would get that on his body camera and put him on notice himself.
Yes, sir. You're on notice that you are violating our rights should you proceed against us criminally today. So I just want you to know that we will be pursuing legal action. I don't know what part of this ever looked like I was not serious. I'm doing this because my life is at stake. I am now being tracked and monitored by the Department of Homeland Security. We have mothers and we've been out with our small children and we have been followed by men sent to make us, to intimidate us, to freak us out. How would you feel if your children and your wife were being monitored, surveilled, tracked? And once you're in the FBI or the Department of Homeland Security database, you don't leave, right? So this is, no offense to you guys, nothing personal, but this is our life. We've only been conducting ourselves under protected rights. That's all we've been doing. She came for your lives and your livelihoods, and we were out here protesting for you. Okay? So anything that happens from here, if you guys proceed against us criminally, I let you know. There's been dirty deeds by the BPD together behind the scenes, figuring out how to arrest us. BPD in coordination with the courts to have us arrested for protected rights. So we're doing what we have to do. We're doing what's right by God. What is there another point that we wanted to make today?
Are they gonna give us tickets or what? You want to get tickets and challenge us in court? That's what I'm here for. Or arrest me, whatever you want to do. Let's go.
Well, I don't think we need to arrest you because this is absolutely nothing here.
Shouldn't.
Did we get this man?
They would
Sorry,
be
did we
making
get
a
your
grave
name?
mistake.
It's all set.
They would be making a grave mistake if they targeted us and arrested us when they're supposed to give us a ticket.
Well, they've been targeting us.
I know. They already know they messed up.
They're violating their oath.
They are violating
They're
their oath.
violating their oath. It's something that everybody takes. I
They-
took the oath.
They made the neighbors believe they were doing a good thing when they were calling to report on us.
Compelling a court through emotions is not the way law works. So just because somebody doesn't like something, no. Just as you said earlier, you guys were mandated to take the vaccine. It was your constitutional right not to take it. And even if you took it, you didn't want to take it. It was still your right. So these people were fighting for your rights as well, regardless if you're arresting them under false pretenses.
Everybody has this one thing that they have to say. I have my family to look out for. We were literally looking out for other people's families because we knew at some point it was going to arrive at our doorstep, and we weren't waiting for that to happen. Because we have an obligation to disobey unjust laws. And we saw that the people that had their lives threatened, like Sean had his life threatened, his livelihood. He lost his job at Boston Medical. Yeah, everyone's life was threatened. Sorry, with the vaccine, if you didn't know that.
We can go back further. We can go back further.
But Sean lost his job. Most people didn't stand up. A lot of people fell and took that shot that they didn't even want.
Or they let somebody else take the fall for them.
Right. Exactly. So that's why we're here today. It's been 15 months. This court is a intentional abusive process. They've been out to get us from the beginning. There's absolute proof of it. And so they're going to tie us up in court proceedings because they have no justification for any of this. These are people that were expressing a First Amendment right to redress their government, to express dissent, free speech, assembly. And again, I just want to reiterate, I think it was lost in all the confusion of them coming up to us. There was a judge at the West Roxbury court a year ago who ruled that I never should have been arrested in the first place. It's a civil matter. So since that has happened, it would be very strange if they would proceed against us with arresting anyone. I would be very surprised. So we are here because we have to stand up. And we have to disobey unjust orders, whether it's from a judge in the court or whether it's an ordinance that is drafted to look like it's valid. But
Or
it's not.
reasonable.
It's not reasonable because it also says here those engaged in targeted residential picketing between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. remain subject to all other ordinances and state statutes, including but not limited to laws concerning excessive noise, disturbing the peace, harassment, and blocking of streets and sidewalks. That makes me laugh, that last part, because Michelle Wu famously blocked streets. She famously blocked off a bridge in defiance of what the laws are. But do you know why she did that and got away with it? Because people have been afraid. It has been something that they've stayed away from for years. You don't arrest people when they're conducting protected rights, like protest. So the Constitution enshrines our right to protest. So these statutes that they mention here, they don't supersede the Constitution. The Constitution supersedes all.
Is the rakest.
Right.
Here he is. Keep an eye on him, everybody.
Get out of here. Get him out of here.
You're in public, sir.
You're in public.
Last time you spoke to me, you threatened me. You threatened me. Don't do that, sir. Goodbye. We're in public.
Don't engage.
Thank you,
Don't
sir.
engage.
Have a nice day.
This is the alleged veteran. He's a traitor, not a veteran. But anyway.
Who said to the Boston police that he wanted to shoot all of us?
This is a Marine Corps veteran telling you to get out of here because you're protesting.
Yes.
What rights did he really fight for?
Yes. Well.
What was the service for?
Yes.
Ridiculous.
This one.
Blame your neighbor. She caused it.
Sorry. I also just want to bring attention to this sign, which was made last June when we came to protest the illegal ordinance, the unconstitutional ordinance. And what was funny, I guess, was free speech is not a crime, as we got arrested next to our sign that said free speech is not a crime.
Free speech isn't a crime.
So I just want to make one other point that people seem to miss quite a bit when they believe this ordinance is a good thing because nobody should be waking anybody up at 7 a.m. You can run a lawnmower at 7 a.m. A leaf blower that can be jackhammers in the street. I have a protected right to dissent, to express dissent, and to redress grievances. So we waited until the noise ordinance ended at 7 a.m. So we were well within bounds, okay? Your neighbor, I know many times I'm woken up at 7 a.m. to my neighbor getting out there with the lawnmower wanting to get a jump, right? It's like, oh, great.
Yeah, I hear that
7
weed
a.m.,
whacker
the
pussy
noise
in the
ordinance is
backyard.
up. So we've always conducted ourselves in a law abiding way, and always wanting to be respectful of people. So we had to do what we had to do because she wakes up, she leaves early for work, and it was the one way we could see her to tell her how we feel about the things she's doing. Because silence is consent, guys. Okay? So if you're not saying no, and they're not pretending that they don't hear you or know that you oppose what they're saying, there's never any point in time that this lady could ever say that she didn't know that we disagreed with her policies. We showed up in City Hall in December of 2021, was it? And we yelled, "Shame on Wu." We sang the national anthem, and we booed her. We booed her through her whole speech announcing the vaccine, passports, and mandates. There's been no point in time when she would not know that we opposed all of her unlawful things. The masking of school children in Boston. While the rest of the state, the rest of the country, the rest of the world unmasked kids back in February and March of 2022, she still had kids in masks in June in Boston in hot schools without air conditioning. So we ended up on Michelle Wu's political hit list, enemies list, effectively after the Dorchester Day Parade. I was saying they're gonna let this guy's thing go up. It wasn't us. We ended up on the hit list after we effectively protested her up and down the parade route. So we marched in the parade, we protested, we just walked alongside her. There was nothing we did that was illegal. We were within the law,
Or
within the
threatening or
Right.
physically intimidating.
We never did anything to ever make her feel like she was in harm's way.
Now
No one has ever tried to go near her, let alone say anything that would give her a reason to worry. And they know this. They know we have no intention to hurt anyone. That's not what we're here for. We're here to oppose unjust policies and the corruption that she embodies. Is there another point? Is there anything that I've missed or that needs restating?
No, I think you got it all.
Do you want me to spin it around on you?
I think you covered everything. What time is it?
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in this morning.
Thank you for having the courage to come out here and stand up for everybody's rights.
Oh, where's the electric vehicle limo? I don't know. What time is it, guys?
It's only 7:43.
Well, you want to take a picture of her fossil fuel car in the backyard?
Yes, she was trying to inject poison into the bloodstreams of children. What else were we supposed to do? Exactly. We're mothers. We don't tolerate someone trying to harm children, kill them, and hurt their mothers and fathers. Sorry, we're mothers, and we're not going to stand for that. So basically, most of us that were out here were moms.
She lied about the
People
emergency.
who lost their jobs.
She lied about the emergency. She brought the office to her house right here, and
Yes.
we followed where the office was. We're here because it's her fault. She caused this whole mess.
Right.
Right. It's her fault.
I just want to make another point. Throughout the whole history in Boston, every mayor has always been protested. Okay? But I'll tell you another
At
thing.
their houses.
At their house. At their house, people. Marty Walsh at 4 a.m. had people on his property trying to set fires. We have never broken any laws. We have never made anyone feel threatened or scared. Okay? So what this action was completely because she is fragile. She has a fragile ego. She doesn't like to hear people boo her. And she
She's a
needed us to
tyrant.
go away. She's a tyrant. But I also want to say that it has never been before that there was a dignitary force. In Boston, there's always been an assigned cruiser and a police officer outside the home of the mayor. Michelle Effendi, our friend Michelle Frijon, two people have submitted FOIAs asking for what's the budget for the mayor's security detail and what's the justification for that. And these FOIAs are over a year old, well over a year old. I think they were done in March, and they still haven't been answered.
March 2022.
March of 2022.
And some of the FOIAs are costing thousands of dollars too, just to get.
Michelle
Should
signed.
be free. It's Freedom of Information Act. I want information you
So-
hand it over.
Boston, Massachusetts and Boston are the worst. They just flout the laws. So they can flout laws. The laws are to hold down the little people anyway. They don't have to abide by laws. So, Michelle, do you see your sign?
Michelle, do you see your sign? Is that a building ball quote?
I don't have any comments to make. Thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Yes, the city of Boston refuses to tell Michelle how much the budget is. Yeah, they're trying to be cute with, there's been no
Oh.
change. No, that's
Do
not
Do you
true.
want to explain about the DA and the letter that was signed?
Yes, we really could have printed out and blown up all kinds of documents for you guys, but back in February of 2022, the Black leaders in Boston have got together to sign a statement condemning us for a hateful treatment of Michelle Wu. They called us racist. They said they need to stamp out. Is that what it was? Was it the word
Yeah.
that they needed to what?
Stamp out racism and hate.
And that they were not going to allow us to do this or something. So Kevin Hayden signed off on that. He is the DA.
Basically, that they would do everything within their power to stamp out hate in the city of Boston, and Kevin Hayden signed it.
So they pledged their allegiance to Michelle Wu, and they condemned us. They called us racist, and they made our protests sound like they were, physically violent or scary or something, which was never the case. It might be loud because people feeling threatened with their lives. We had workers out here that lost their jobs. We had workers out here that were threatened with losing their jobs, and people's lives were at risk. So what did Ayanna Presley say herself? When
We got
there's
an arrest in the streets.
unrest in the streets,
When there's unrest, there should be unrest in the streets if there's
Okay.
unrest in our lives or something.
yes, there must be unrest in the streets as long as there's unrest in our lives. So,
Another carpetbagger from Chicago.
yes.
Isn't that apropos? They're all the same.
Well, where's the time check? We
It's
haven't
about
seen her.
almost 8 o'clock.
7:46 Eastern Standard Time. In the hub of the universe.
Did anybody
And-
else want to say anything?
What is the DA's office doing today?
Helmet
15
on,
months
miss.
later?
It's against the law.
What are they going to be talking about
So-
today?
They're talking about us right now. Trying to figure out what they're going to do.
Oh,
They're
does
watching the live. They went back, rewinded your live. They're like, oh, they got the emails. Oh, no.
Don't forget our famous sergeant here was back on his
So
cell
I
phone.
guess I should have made that point. Sorry, guys. So this is 15 months now since we've been arrested, June 29th, 2022. And there's another cruiser coming. Well, today is a day that we're due back in court again. And like I said, this is an undue hardship to ourselves and our families. We are mothers, we have young children, and this is unacceptable. I just want to say during the working session for the ordinance, it was expressed by the city council that they did not want people to be harmed with being called into court, that they would lose a day's pay or they'd have to find child's care. So this was absolutely something that the city council said they did not want happening.
Discuss.
But it's happened again and again and again and again and again and again to us intentionally because we are on Mayor Wu's political hit list, which again is illegal.
And when we got arrested on June 29th, there were 4 of us.
There were 4 of us that were arrested on June 29th, 2022, and they decided to proceed with criminal charges against 2 of us. And we thought, wow, that's funny, except not so funny, right? But anyway, it's because 2 of us are on the hit list. So she's been compared to Richard Nixon, who, as you recall, his dirty antics got him
I thought he wasn't a
swiftly
drug.
removed from office because of his behaviors. But here in Boston, I guess we rally around
Real
Michelle Wu.
criminals.
Yeah.
Right? Real criminals.
We like to
in
harbor
office.
criminals in Boston.
What's the difference between Mayor Wu and Whitey Bulger?
That's a good one. I don't know. What's
Well,
the
if she's
difference?
a
Just
woman.
the status.
The genitals?
I mean, the genitals is definitely one thing, but like their status and where they are
Can't say that now.
associated to them. Because wasn't he a rat and a criminal at the same time?
Mhm.
Like he was ratting out people to benefit with the cops. So, I mean, what's really much of the difference
What's
between
the
the
difference?
two?
There's no difference. It's organized crime.
It is organized
They're
crime.
gang-
Just
these guys are
one's
gang
in
members.
government and one is associated with it. I don't know.
Gang
both-
members.
They both suck.
So I appreciate everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much. Yes. Michelle Effendi said they're hiding documents. Yes, they are. They're hiding documents. I'm sure they've destroyed documents because they seem to believe they're above the law. There's a neighborhood walk group out there. A little bit of very slow walking right now. Very, very leisurely.
Just as protected as what we're doing.
Right?
So the time is now what? 8 something. Okay, so
7:51.
people on Mass and Cass sidewalks can camp, pee, poop, do drugs,
Yep.
have sex, but you're not allowed to hold a sign, correct? Right. Yes.
Yeah, defecating in public.
Right.
I thought that was illegal to do that.
Fornication
Sex
in public.
Isn't that sex offender type stuff? I mean,
Yeah.
why are we?
Decent
That's okay.
exposure.
Yeah, decent
Yeah,
exposure.
yeah,
okay.
Oh, yeah,
How come
it's
they're
fine.
not getting arrested?
fine.
I'm
right?
shivering,
Broad
you guys.
daylight,
It's cold.
public-
I know. It's freezing.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. They make sure they get those.
They make sure that they get, yeah, they make sure
They
the
make
homeless
sure they get
people
the
get the
vaccine.
vaccines. Yeah, they
But-
make sure they vaccinate them.
You know, you can't live here, but you can have the vaccine.
Yep.
Just to always beware of anything free. I don't know why people don't know this by now in life.
Right.
Yeah, but when
Absolutely.
something's given to you that at no cost, yeah, to you, you've already paid for it. You're
But
right
they're
with
free,
the
you don't want
taxes. But so many people have said, well, it's free.
Okay.
It's not free. You're going to be making up for it in all the medications
And it ain't
and,
free.
you
You're
know,
right. We're paying
health
for it now.
treatment.
Inflation is because
Yeah, well, they'll give you supposedly free
donuts.
vaccines, but yet.
Yeah,
So anyone's up and they want to come to
Try.
West Roxbury
Doesn't that
Court
just sell
today,
vaccine to you?
9 o'clock.
you want to join us, we have our court date scheduled today at the West Roxbury Courthouse, 9 a.m. If you're in the area, come on out. Stand with us.
Looks like they might.
For everyone who is, everyone who has, thank you. It helps show support for the cause because this could be anyone. We have a right to express dissent. We have a right,
They don't know what we're doing.
and we only have our rights as long as we stand and fight for them.
They can't issue us a ticket for protesting. Fuck yourself. Okay, you can go.
Yeah, even the ordinance
No.
isn't.
He did a little
Do you want to get in the
writing
car?
motion.
Have a jacket?
No, I have a cold in the car, but
Does that neck thing blow on heat?
no, it doesn't blow me.
If it only did.
Do you want to go to the car? You can go sit in the car.
No, it's okay.
Yes, we're cold. It's cold out here.
It's worth it.
We've been out here, for the record, on days I remember saying, it's 7 o'clock, it's 7 degrees out, and there's 7 of us. We have felt that strongly about
Seven's a good
trying to
number.
stand for other people's right to choose what happens to their bodies, okay? We were that dedicated to the cause because no one has a right to compel anything on your body or to your body. And that's what
Amen.
this has always been about for us. The masks, unconstitutional, illegal,
Testing's
the
unconstitutional.
testing,
Like,
vaccine mandates.
Vaccine passports,
yeah,
segregation.
right? Show me your papers. Doesn't this sound like something that happened in the 1940s?
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Nazi Germany.
Did you want to say anything, Sean?
But you know how it all really did start, though?
No, I could.
Was police brutality towards the citizens, enforcing show me your papers, curfews, can't go here, can't go there. All local police were told by their authority to do unto the citizens. So, yeah, those of us that know history are not gonna sit and watch it happen. Looking for a repeat or repeat.
So just another reminder, I don't know if you guys were watching when the mother came out. I don't even know if that's her mother or just allegedly her mother. Came out to water the plants. If you really thought if you really thought we were dangerous people, would you set your mother loose on the steps here?
I thought she trimmed.
Her mother, who is mentally ill, so she says,
She's the one who's
and that's
mentally
not
ill.
the first time that she sent her mother out while this protest happening.
Yeah. So this is an amazing thing. Can I tell them the story about the trash?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you guys, this is hilarious. When was that? That was. Oh my god.
I don't know. There was snow on the ground.
There is a level to this story that's like this level here. So we're out here protesting. We're like, we want to work, right? And then
There's snow on the ground.
sorry, there was the garbage truck was coming down the street, and everyone else's trash is on the curb, and the garbage truck, the garbage man is throwing the garbage into the truck. And all of a sudden, we see Michelle Wu's mother come running down the stairs with a bag of trash as the truck
Multiple.
is already here.
Like 3 bags of trash.
So the truck stops and she's loading the trash directly into the grinder herself, right? Giving it to the trash man and watching it be grinded up, goes back in, gets more trash, comes out. The point is, her trash is not outside. She hoards her trash inside the house. There were like food containers in there. So no, she doesn't recycle. Sorry to break you guys' heart. The queen of the bike lane does not recycle, okay? She had cans of Goya beans. She had a gallon of water, a jug. She had one of those big containers of lettuce in the trash, bag directly into the garbage truck.
No composting?
So
Snap.
I was like, there's like all kinds of things. This wasn't secret private documents or notes. It's a can of empty Goya beans, okay? An empty bottle of water. Like, nobody's breaking in your trash to steal your DNA. Like, you pour it out of, you're not licking. Like, I was like, I don't even know. She keeps all of her trash inside the house, including food waste. Like, that's just strange to me. So anyway, we were like, wow, this is weird. But also the fact that the trash truck did not back up the street for her to
Yeah.
get the trash, because she actually ran out after the trash truck came by. And that's when the helpful BPD came to her aid and started taking trash to the truck. And I said, what are you doing? No. I was like, look at yourselves. Awful. Oh my God. But I just want to remind you guys, because everybody's so caught up with social media, you've given away your privacy more and more and more, all because you want to share or you have a cute post. We don't think enough about our privacy rights, and we've lost that.
We've lost the Fourth Amendment, basically.
I think we've lost what we used to once, things that we used to know. But we have a right to privacy. Michelle Wu doesn't even want you to know what brand beans she eats. Okay?
She
No
has
one's-
less privacy as a public servant.
Right.
But she's hiding her trash inside so that nobody can get any information about her life whatsoever, right? So if she goes to such great lengths to protect her privacy, shouldn't you? Shouldn't you? This is the WEF person here, all right? They put all kinds of a budget into this lady, the World Economic Forum. So if she is withholding information down to the granular detail, isn't it likely that we should probably be doing the same? Just food for thought. It's just something I think people should think about, you know? Because it's like, haha, funny that she holds her trash inside of her house. It's weird, it's strange, whatever. But it means something, you know, because that's like, you're going to great pains to withhold the exact jug of spring water that you buy or, you know, it's just, she doesn't want any information known about her private life. So something to keep in mind. People might want to kind of tighten up all that they let loose in the world about themselves. And especially, you find out real fast when you find that there are men watching you and your kids outside, and that you're on a hit list in a database surveilled by Department of Homeland Security, FBI. Privacy does matter. It's really important. So I hope that people will take it seriously and start thinking about it, because we're giving up rights all the time and we don't even realize. Thank you, Stiletto. She posted the address for the court, 445 Arbor Way, Jamaica Plain. We have to go in front of the judge today, 9 a.m. We're expected in there. Rules for thee, not for we.
Rules for you, not for who.
It's because they know what they're doing is wrong, said Anne Marie. Yes, exactly. So thank you. There's 18 people watching. Thank you.
I got one over here. That's
And-
19.
Sean's got one for 19. Thank you.
You explain the importance of other people exercising their rights. That way, events like these don't happen.
You gotta be
So
brave.
it's hard for me to talk about it without sounding bitter, because a long time ago, I embarked on this. Catherine and we didn't know what to do with ourselves. We were just like chomping at the bit. All these things were happening in our lives that were taking away necessary freedoms that we all really, really, we need them, you know? So we were like,
Probably since somebody called me, maybe.
Sorry about that. Somebody tried calling. That's meeting up with us at court, and Catherine went to dismiss the call, and we've been silenced all that time. Sorry, I was giving some really great stuff too. I wish you guys could have heard it.
We got it over here.
Listen, I'm just surprised if I'm able to form sentences right now, because this is what I'm talking about with the undue hardship. When you're up all night with a child that is sick, and then you are compelled to get in a car and drive somewhere to be on someone else's timeline. You don't have the leeway to say, sorry, judge, isn't going to work for me today, right? That's not the way it works. They have zero tolerance for you missing. So we've been to court over and over and over and over again. So I'm just happy that I've been able to form sentences today, really, for the most part.
Make sure you reach out to my new friend, Mr. Sean Williams, in Public Records, 617-635-4037. And make sure you compare notes with the form letters they sent out to you. The minute you ask for a request for some information, it's always, we need a clarification. And then you have to wait for them to get back to you in 10 more days. And then they stall, and they don't do anything. Then you have to go to the Secretary of State and get that going. And it's just a bunch of bullshit. So reach out. Sean Williams. Now, understand who Sean Williams is. He used to work for the Secretary of State, and he's the guy that wrote the verbiage for the records law. He then was hired by Marty Walsh, and now he's in charge of the city of Boston's records. So it's just an incestuous situation where his job. Now, man, he was like the president of the League of the Records people in this whole state of Massachusetts. This guy wrote the verbiage. He knows what it's the ins and outs. They're going to delay. They're not going to give you things. So it's a battle royale. Just get used to call up Sean, introduce yourself, and 617-635-4037. He's a jolly old fellow. He lives over in Beacon Hill with his family. He's been in government all his life, not just half his life. So it's important to understand what the process is, and you got to start the process. You know you're going to get slammed, you're going to get deflected, you're going to get discouraged, but you got to stay on top of these people. Their job, Sean Williams' job is to hide the information from you. That's he's the gatekeeper. And then it's all these, there's so many, then they get the exemptions. The exemptions are unbelievable. You can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. So just be careful. And when you start FOIAing, just FOIA. You have that right. And they have an obligation to get back to you in a certain amount of time. And you know they're going to default. They're going to send you the wrong name back. They're going to send you the wrong information back. Just get used to it, get rid of it. Just go by the time. You have 10 days. You don't do it, go right to the Secretary of State to appeal it. Then they kick it back over to him, and then he'll stall again for another 10 days. And then he'll come back to you, and then you got to go to court.
Shouldn't have to.
Yeah, but this is the game.
Well, that's the game. That's the system, and they created the system, so there's no way out of it. It's a big maze, and if you don't have the money to fight, you don't have the ability. A private individual should have the ability to fight in court without representation.
Well,
you have the right to it, but you should be able to fight without it.
Quote Shannon, the process is the punishment. Just remember. The process is the punishment.
If they had something, don't you think they would convict to try to set a precedent?
They don't want anything. They don't want you to know anything about the little game. Everybody's in on it except the citizens that they try to restrict. If you start hearing schools like Harvard, Yale, Brown,
it's Harvard Shan now.
And these are the schools. These are the administrative deep state, and their job to get into these schools so they can write all the laws to make it impossible for you to basically follow the rules of our country, life, living, the pursuit of happiness. The more miserable you are and tied up and waste your time, and time is the only commodity you cannot replace.
Any laws that
Gentlemen
restrict
that
those
are
is
government
against the
workers,
Constitution.
they get paid to stand there. I had to explain to somebody going to court once, listen, you're at work. I have to leave work to come here.
Yeah.
For what? You? I don't need you.
They get paid by our tax dollars to fight us.
It's okay, though. It's just a little thing. Remember now, Sean Williams, reach out and touch somebody. And 617-635-4037.
Rob,
Yeah.
what's the best way to do a FOIA? Email, go in person or?
Well, I've done them all. I've walked in, you get all upset because you came into my office. So what? This is a government building. I've also sent an email, and keep the verbiage simple. Keep it simple. My request was I need any records from X date to X date with my name on it. Since I was the number one on the list, and I want to thank the Boston Police for putting my name on the list. Thank you, guys. I want to thank you. And everybody else that put my name on any list. I like to know what the list says. That's all. I'm not afraid to go to court. But this is nonsense. This is bullshit. And it's unfortunate that some of the guys have been put in a situation following the orders and
recap
you know,
why we're
just to
here.
think,
Yes.
People who
she's
aren't
leaving in 2
watching.
years now. Remember that.
I don't know if she's gonna stay the full time.
Michelle Wu's leaving in 2 years.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Word on the street is contradictory.
So I just want to thank everybody who's tuned in today. I just want to remind, in case anybody joined late, if anyone was missing the beginning part of this, there was an ordinance passed. Thank you so much. Sorry, these are floppy. Just had these printed. There was an ordinance passed. Michelle Wu drew up this ordinance because she didn't like people protesting at her residence. Every mayor in Boston has been protested at their residence. But Michelle Wu believes she's special and she shouldn't have to face the people that she's supposed to represent. So here's the ordinance that was passed. It was made to look legal. It's supposed to look like it is valid for all of Boston. No part of this is valid. But here we have an email from the Boston Police that tell us the truth of the matter.
What's the date in that thing?
Oh, thank you. April 4th, 2022.
That was
March 21st.
Oh, March 21st.
That's the day. I think one of the people asked him if they were keeping
Your birthday.
my birthday's April 4th. We had the birthday party out here. But the point was, I think this is around the date when one of the people asked the Boston Police if they were keeping her records on civilians and how illegal that was.
Yeah.
I think and all these people, these are all, who are
Look at
these
all
people?
Boston Police, right? So here we have an email from Captain Greeley, who has since retired.
Yeah, he got out early.
They've all retired or they've all been promoted. It's an amazing job opportunity.
The
Dealing with
worse
us.
you are, the better position you get.
Dealing with us. I mean, you're welcome, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so this went out saying
New policy.
new policy regarding mayor's house. But wait, I thought it was City of Boston ordinance. No, you're wrong. It's a new policy regarding the mayor's house. We
It's
had
the,
to do that to pass it, you moron.
it's
It's not a city ordinance, it's a policy, new policy regarding the mayor's house. So anyway,
it's the Wu Protection Act.
the other part of it is that no other part of the city got an announcement about this because we got back records requests. So is this police department here that's around us? There's a lot of people here. How many? 5?
Four. on my
Four?
count.
Okay. So it was this police department here from Michelle
5.
Wu's neighborhood. And in fact, the Eggleston Square neighborhood of Boston, we could have blown up quite a few of these, by the way. The Eggleston Square Police Department got a notice, an email saying, hey guys, just want to reiterate that civil matters are civil matters and must be treated as civil matters. So again, it's called equal application of the law
Make it a
under
total.
the
And
law.
what does that email say about the
Okay.
civil?
Can I just see the other one with the
Okay.
people? Because we
So
can
it says here, criminal complaint hearing, disregard the civil citation. The court wants criminal complaint hearing. So what's that mean? The Boston police conspired with the court to arrange for us to be arrested. So they're flouting the ordinance that they spent just about 30 days from start to finish from when Michelle Wu sent over her proposal that this be done. And from City Hall had a hearing, a working session, and made their final changes, and Michelle Wu signed off on it the end of March 2022.
see.
So we're here because we actually, Catherine and I have court today. We were arrested back in June 2022 for holding signs out here and protesting her. And they arrested us while we held free speech is not a crime. signs.
Yep.
So it's been 15 months and we're here today because we have court again. And what they're doing for the umpteenth time is they're calling us back to court. They're causing an undue hardship into our lives, into our homes, into our families. They're doing this. The process is the punishment. They're dragging us here and they're going to make our lives as uncomfortable as possible. Why? Because we stood up for bodily autonomy. We saw children being masked in schools. We're mothers. We are people with hearts, okay? I'm not saying people don't have hearts, but people don't have hearts and courage. I don't know. But we have that combination, I guess, to come out here and do the right thing. Because if you stay silent, silence means agreement. It's tacit agreement. So it's important to speak up and speak out.
Look how much resources this tyrant has put into silencing people.
Yes.
Imagine that. What we need, you need the FOIA. Everybody gets FOIA, but the point is this: if they spent half as much time just fixing this dysfunctional city, it would be a great place. This person doesn't understand Boston because she's not from here. That's the number one issue with all these carpetbaggers.
That's how it's, that's how easy
they
it is
don't
to destroy a
understand
city.
They
because
wouldn't
you have no
know this.
value
They
for
wouldn't
it. You're not
know
from there.
Sharman Station from the Sharman Bank that's not even in business anymore.
Or from the Shaman Native Americans, yes.
Almost a good amount of them not. There's a state rep that's from California.
Huh?
There's a state rep.
know.
Who's from California.
My
And I
only-
think her
my
chief
only
of
question is
staff
how
for
many
Mayor Wu,
new
she's also from
comers to our
California.
country does she have
I
now?
don't understand why she doesn't understand.
Oh, I know.
Boston.
I hope she's taking in a number of migrants.
Yeah, she's coming. How
Since
many?
She has been on the news saying, "Oh, we welcome them. You
Yeah, but
welcome them. You have nowhere to put them."
She can
Yeah,
put,
but I
Yeah,
don't see
welcome,
anybody in
just
the
not in their
house.
she
backyard.
can put at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
30 of them in the house.
And then they have a nerve to say there's a crisis. You created the crisis.
Yes.
Just like Mass Ave.
Yep.
Just
All
terrible.
over the city.
So what's the
Right.
time check, guys?
We have 8:16 Eastern Standard Time in the hub of the universe.
I guess Michelle Stallman. She should be at the house by now.
Michelle
We know why.
Stalin.
We know
We know why. We
Get
know
the
why.
camera set. Last
I
time
know.
we caught us sneaking
Everybody-
out the back door.
Driveway, everybody.
I watched the video
She,
last night.
she ran through
Looks like
her
Sasquatch
neighbor's
sighting.
yards to
Just
avoid
the way she
being
walks,
seen
not
on
trying to
camera
be-
crossing paths
Yeah,
with
yeah,
us saying
negative
fuck your
about her.
She
ordinance.
used her mother
She's
as a-
either already gone or she's not coming out.
Right.
Yeah, it was just like
No, I didn't
the
see
way she
anything
stepped.
earlier.
It literally
Yeah,
looked
but
like the famous
she-
video.
We've posted the video of her running that way, so she probably went in a different direction this time.
All you could see was
I thought it
basically
she
a
sit
silhouette
here because you still got 3
from head
cops
to
here.
toe.
So
They don't want us
You never
to try to
done
walk
that
up
before.
steps.
If she were gonna come out, they'd be all right here. She's not coming out.
Yeah, got the protest.
The cat's like, help me.
Here it is, the Green New Deal, upgraded.
That luck for Mayor Wu right there.
You know what's surprising to me is there's no signs that say no trespassing or no soliciting on the entire property.
We have somebody stationed
That's
here.
part. It's actually part of the protection that you do that. Because if you don't notify anybody of no soliciting, then they can
Let's not help her. Let's not help her.
they can ring her bell.
Let's not help her.
No, over there, over there.
yeah, and in a few weeks you'll see a missing cat sign somewhere.
I know. And I'll have you back.
The least you could do is cut the lawn.
Well,
Forget
at least
about
you
it.
can't
likes the sign.
It has a purple heart.
Cat approves of the not arresting protesters. You agree?
Right? Your cat likes us. We're
That's
dangerous.
okay.
If we were dangerous,
So we're in
she wouldn't be coming near
Wooville
us.
this morning, guys, if anyone's just tuning in. We're in Wooville this morning. There was an ordinance passed specifically made for Woo's
Oh, of course.
residents alone.
Mhm.
The mayor of Boston, the corrupt mayor of Boston, tyrant. She passed an ordinance for herself. The city council passed an ordinance for her. How much of a raise did they give themselves after that?
15%.
15%. That's pretty
Oh,
pretty
marking
serious
me with
money.
a cent.
Yeah, so they got themselves a cool 15% raise by passing the unconstitutional ordinance that's only in effect at her house. We have protested other city officials or people within the city of Boston in the morning, and we have not had a word said to us about the ordinance because it only, of course, applies to her when she's at home in the morning and wants to leave for work without having to cross paths with the peasants.
Government officials should be welcoming critics.
So, I mean, it's part of the job to hear
I did.
criticism, to have people disagree
That's
with
true.
you.
did.
Protest my
And
house.
she's gone to
You're an
great
elected
lengths
official.
What?
to shut
Well,
us, to
what?
silence
My
us, to shut us down our
Former
protests.
elected official.
Former.
She has
Yeah.
a few of us in
But you can
court right
protest my
now.
Right?
Yes, Soflan.
Sean
Yeah,
was
but-
arrested for
Pissed my neighbors off more than
protesting her in a park in Dorchester
Yep, you have the right.
using a megaphone.
Come on.
And how many months is that? That was also June, so 15 months later. Still being
Because we
dragged.
all were arrested after the hit list went out.
We were all arrested after the hit list went out. The hit list came about because we marched in the Dorchester Day Parade. We were standing there holding signs yelling "Shame on Wu." And then as she started to march by, we decided to jump in and just follow along and yell "Shame on Wu, unmask the kids" through the parade route. And we were very effective. They tried to bring in the bagpipes and all kinds of
And the
things.
priest.
We had a priest gone mad who attacked 5 people. Crazy. He tried to snatch the drumsticks from both of the drummers.
But yet did not get arrested for assault and battery.
But the next day, they decided they needed to coordinate a plan, come together to plot how to, I guess, take care of us. So there was a culmination of a hit list. It culminated in a hit list. There were 15 names on the list. And some people were mistaken identities, I believe, because this was everyone else on the list were protesters of her policies, right? Whether it was the North End, the restrictions that only applied to the North End, or if it was, those of us who came to protest her about bodily autonomy, or somebody who protested her for his own reasons. So they put us on a list, and that other person, he has also been arrested for protesting in the city of Boston and is facing bogus charges as well. So there's a number of us who've been arrested unlawfully since the hit list has happened. There are others on the hit list that have court matters as well. And we're all tied up in court. The court has a choice in the matters that they pursue. They could have decided on day one when we were brought in before the judge that they could have dismissed. That's what they did to 2 of the ladies that were with us. We never should have been arrested. Already a ruling by one of the judges in the court that it was a civil matter and I never should have been arrested. But here we are, still 15 months later. So I don't know, pray for a miracle, guys. Who knows, maybe we go into the court today and they decide that they're tired of doing this. I doubt that's the case. But this is exactly what they mean to do, is abuse us through the court process. And you can't find justice in a court that's not impartial, a biased court. And that's a guaranteed right in the Constitution, right? To go before an impartial court.
I don't know. You got to ask if she believes in the U.S. Constitution. First amazing.
She doesn't.
The question: She
clearly doesn't.
Or is she affirmed? Who knows? They're always sneaking around.
Nobody takes it seriously anymore. Everybody just says the oath because it's basically a prerequisite to anything. They take
So we're
it.
getting ready. We have to head over to court soon because we have our umpteenth court date to go for. So we're going to be there with our frizzy hair because we've been standing out here in the rain and the winds and the colds. But we have to do what we have to do. We have to stand up for our rights, and civil disobedience is a must. So everybody who thinks they're doing their part by sharing Facebook posts and memes and tweets, get
Not
up
enough.
off your ass.
Or
Get out
wearing
from behind your screen.
wearing cute
Yeah.
shirts.
You can't keep running around wearing shirts like this unless you actually earned it, like this man.
You got to have
Okay.
an ordinance created for protesting outside your mayor or your governor. They did that in New Hampshire for us here. So
You need to earn it.
You got to earn it.
I think we're buying it 10 times over.
So I agree. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny. So we need people to start standing up. And I'm tired of hearing people say cute slogans that they like. You can't comply your way out of tyranny. And then every time I see you, you're literally complying with tyranny.
Right.
It makes me like want to wash your mouth out with soap or something because it's unacceptable. So we have to stand for what we stand for. And people have said to us, I don't like protesting. Do you think I like this? Do you think I like coming here on zero sleep? Do you think this
This early
isn't
in the
fun?
morning in the
Yeah.
cold.
I want to be in bed still.
Yeah.
Too.
And people are so afraid. You have to decide, what do you stand for? Do you really stand for what you say you stand for? It's not fun to protest. It's not cute. People are, I think, more embarrassed at the idea of being seen somewhere. But otherwise, you look like a fool because you're silent and you look like you're letting them have their way with you. You're making yourself easily rapeable. Sorry, had to be said.
Yeah, right.
So it will never be said that no one ever thought that I consented with anything because we've literally been on overpasses. We've been marching through parades. Anywhere you could have been around the city, we've been there protesting the injustices. So nobody can ever say like, oh, well, we didn't know. No, you damn well did, right?
Right.
Because at her inauguration, she was protested. At the announcement of the vaccine mandate, the vaccine passports, she was fiercely protested. I mean, this ordinance came about because she's embarrassed. She wants people to believe that she's well liked, that she's loved. They give you the impression that her neighbors don't like us. There are neighbors on this block that have come up to us off to the side to say, yeah, I'm with you guys. They don't want to be known by her. I mean, look what she's done. She's passed illegal ordinances. She's had people put behind bars. You don't want to be known that you stand with the protesters, but the neighbors stand with the protesters.
Right.
So, Michelle Wu, your neighbors don't like you. They don't like you either. So, your fragile ego, I'm sure that's a lot for you to take.
No one likes her. That's a little fan club.
So, there are people that think they're helping. You know, people called the 911 on us when we were protesting last time. And they said, what's your emergency? And the guy said, oh, well, it's not an emergency. I'm just calling because, you know, I was told to call if people come to protest. Are you so good? Are you so good? It's like Girls and Boy Scouts, you get a little patch.
Yeah,
For your
how about the
nice
ones that
little
ratted out their
deed?
neighbors during COVID because they had more than 10 people at their house
Yeah.
spying on your damn neighbor and ratting them out?
So Michelle Wu wants to keep this lie alive that she is well loved. She is not well loved because anywhere we go with the Shame on Wu bumper sticker, people flag us down to tell us how much they love it. They love it. We're not even in Boston most of the time with it, and people are just as excited. They know what it means. They don't like her. And that's why she tried to pass this illegal ordinance, and it's not going to stand. We're not going to allow it to stand.
Doesn't look like it's working too good today.
No,
We won't let you
she's
take
been
our rights.
exposed
That's it.
to that being on their best behavior.
I mean, she can say she's not all she wants, but we all know she's a communist.
She's a tyrant. She doesn't want to hear dissent. Is there anything else? Like, how much time do we have? I think we have to get moseying along
I was gonna
soon.
say, you got like what? 5
You
minutes?
can invite people to come
3
protest.
minutes till
So
I take
you
her?
guys are free to protest here at Augustus Ave in Rosendale. Free speech is not a crime. The judge ruled last August or September.
It would be great if anybody else would ever be
and
here.
It would be great. You guys can come out. You can do it yourself.
That's scary.
Right.
It's not
It's your right.
scary.
It's the First Amendment, and it's yours. It's only yours if you stand up for it and protect it.
Yeah, just make sure
And
you're
claim
recording it all the
Otherwise, you
time.
give it away.
You're giving it away.
Yeah, well, that's
And
slowly
silence
Well,
is
it's
consent.
taken
It's
away.
called tacit agreement.
Well,
Can we have a
yeah,
time
right.
check?
Taken.
I was gonna
Time?
say, yeah, if you didn't give
What's
it
the
away,
time?
they certainly
Take it.
took it from you.
8:25. You wanna?
Report's gonna be open
Yes.
at 8:30.
Stiletto says, grow a set, get inside the meetings, push back, do not consent. Yes. Let them know that you do not consent. Say, we do not consent. We will not comply. And she said they work for us. It's 8:28. See, she was waiting for us to have to leave for court.
Of course.
So, any final words, anyone?
You have court. I don't.
That's 24 viewers. Thank you guys. Really means a lot. Appreciate everybody. I know how busy the mornings are. So here we are doing civil disobedience. Captain and I had a court order to stay away from Michelle Wu's house, and that's just not just. So we felt like it was our duty to disobey an unjust order. Captain, do you want me to turn it around to you and have you say something?
No, you said everything.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
all right. We will probably see you guys again after court. If you want to come, it's 445 Arbor Way in Jamaica Plain, which is in Boston. Thank you.